So, being that we're a national insurance agency with hundreds of agents around the country, we deal every day with people making that decision on buying a term policy or an index universal life or a final expense policy to cover some of these expenses. And you're right there in the thick of it. Why is it important and critical that people have these things in place? How does a person go about looking for insurance and finding the right insurance for them, in your opinion?
It would come down to the individual that you're dealing with and what kind of rapport are they taking the time to understand your needs, taking a look at your situation from 40,000 feet up and looking down, seeing the problems 10 steps ahead of you that you don't even think about. With the right insurance in place, that's another part of that gift of love, that you are making sure that your family's going to be taken care of. So, you want to talk to an agent that's going to take the time to truly understand what your needs are, but also ask you questions that don't even think about related to your personal situation. I mean, anybody can go buy insurance off the street and, that's off the rack. But if you have a true professional that's going to take the time to understand your needs and what makes sense for your family, so you don't leave them disorganized in chaos, then you need to have a made-to-measure plan to make sure that the dollars are being spent properly, that you, again, prepare your family for the future. So you leave a legacy and not a legacy and a mess.
Absolutely. I've seen too many people call me and say they didn't want to put their children through the mess that their sister put their kids through or their husband put them through. And it's interesting to me because it surprises me, and I'm not sure what the numbers are in Canada, but in America, over 100 million people don't have any life insurance that are eligible for it. And another 100 million don't have enough. It blows my mind because that is part of the leaving a legacy. It's part of the estate planning. It's part of everything. And if you do it right these days, especially if you do it while you're still healthy, that I wanted to talk about that a little bit. There's so many programs out there, especially in the index universal life and the annuity space, that are no risk, only have an upside with living benefits. I think people look at life insurance and they don't pay as much attention to it as they should, but it is such a big part of that whole planning.
Absolutely. But you see, it comes back to, I mean, the numbers, I don't know the numbers in Canada, but it'll be the same thing, what you would say there in the US, that either they don't have life insurance or they don't have enough. It comes back to they don't have a will or they haven't properly addressed the problem of estate planning and a will. And it comes back down to what I said before. People want to avoid, they're going to procrastinate. Oh, I've got plenty of time. But you don't know what's going to happen in life. So why wait? Why take for chance in terms of, your life insurance coverage and making sure that your estate plan and your estate is in order, your affairs are in order. Or there's the people that do have the conversations with you and, your agents, is that I need to make sure that if something was to happen, I'm going to make sure that my family isn't left disorganized in chaos. It's a choice. It's a choice that people have to make. Again, spoiler alert, we're all going to die. So how do you want to be remembered? You want to just leave a legacy or you want to leave a mess?